All right, so how is value perceived in your market? So that presupposes a number of things. The first thing it presupposes is that you actually have a market and that you know what your market actually values, right? So how is value? You can't answer that question unless you have a market. And every market's a little bit different. You've got commercial properties or industrial properties that maybe value productivity, and then you've got homeowners that might value comfort and security and light going and flow, right? So every market probably is a little bit different, and there's different buyers within each market, obviously, as well. But you need to know, because how are you going to win projects unless you are the number one option for a particular client, right? So on an individual basis, you need to know the client's perception of value, and they don't always know, right? So you have to have the right questions that can extract that out. From a marketing point of view, you need to go in and pick a sort of a sub-niche of people who do care about something, and then focus on positioning yourself as the number one option for that thing that they care about. But what is value? What is value? Because if you can't answer that question, how are you going to expect to win better quality projects? I mean, you can win projects, you can win your fair share. That's easy enough. I mean, there's some pretty ordinary marketers in the architecture world picking up projects because they just happen to be local and they happen to be there. But if you're going to win the better projects, the top 20% of projects that are portfolio worthy or highly profitable or highly enjoyable, then you're not going to get there by winning your fair share of average projects, right? Because a lot of average projects aren't worth winning. So you want to be the number one option for a particular high value market, right? Now, to do that, you're going to have to position yourself as the number one option. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to have to know what value is for that market. How are you going to do that? Well, what is value anyway? And who decides what value is? Well, the client decides what value is, right? So really, the only thing that matters is their perception of value. So you need to know that, right? And when you know that, when you know who you're targeting, and you know how they think, and you know what their perception of value is, it's not that hard to put together a message that lets them know that you directly deliver on that value. You're architect number one, right? This is the name of the game. This is the game. It's a value game. And value is subjective, right? It matters what the client thinks. And the interesting thing is, if you were to superficially ask clients what they value, usually they don't know. And if they do have a guess and start telling you, you find out later on that what they told you actually isn't the case. So a really good architect, or a really good marketing architect, knows how to go in, they know the questions to ask to get that information, and then they know how to ask deeper questions when they get the superficial answers. They know how to ask deeper because they know what they're looking for. So one clue to think about is that values are usually emotional. When you dig down and you peel the onion back and you go deeper and deeper and deeper, it's emotional. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking to find someone's values, is they'll give me a few superficial answers. I want more money, I want better projects. Yeah, but why? And when you go deeper and deeper, you find more personal things. And you find the things that they really want. And it's not the stuff they started with. You get below the surface. And when you know what you're looking for, there's certain things that I'm looking for, certain answers, when I know I'm at the bottom. And this is important. It's important if you want to win projects, because to win projects, you need to be the number one option. To be the number one option, you need to be the most valuable option. To be the most valuable option, you need to know what the client values. And it's not always what they tell you initially. All right? So one of the things one of the things I teach our members in the 6 program, and step number 3, is around value. It's about understanding what value is and how you find it out and how you communicate it back. Because that's the other tricky thing about value, is it can often be, well, I said before, it's kind of, it's often emotional. But how do you communicate, we can deliver on this emotional need? That's a bit airy-fairy, isn't it? So we've got to take things which might be a bit emotional, we need to take something which is abstract and turn it into something which is concrete. Right? Now, if you can do that, you'll be one of the very few that can. So is it easy to position yourself as the number one option for a particular narrow niche? Is it easy? Actually, it's pretty easy. It's not difficult. Right? I mean, if you're not in a portfolio battle where everyone's fighting on here's my portfolio, and it goes a bit deeper than that, and you shift the goalpost, then finding out what someone values and being able to deliver on that in a way which is concrete and they can understand and they can see, you can do that. You can do that, definitely. But anyway, have a think for you. What is value? How is value perceived in the markets? And you're probably a generalist, and you're probably across a number of markets, so you need to do this one by one market by one market. Take one narrow market at a time and ask yourself, how is value perceived in this market? And then you go to work. This is how you've got to be thinking if you want to win better than average projects, because the average projects are usually semi-rubbish projects, right? So to up your game, you need to up your perceived value.